What's going on, guys? UFC 321 in the books. I would say it was an eventful card for sure, but it was also very much an uneventful card in the sense that, yeah, the main event is the big story, but the rest of the card was just, if you're into wrestling and grappling, which I'm not saying I'm not, then yeah, this card was probably right up your alley. But for purists of just straight violence, there was a couple of really good knockouts, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like control time and wrestling and grinding up your opponents against the cage. Like that was the real theme of this card and getting the results. Wonky decisions in some spots, other ones wonky. I do agree with. So let's break it all down. See what went wrong, what went right, what went wrong, and of course what's going on with Tom Aspinall. Let's figure it all together. But we're gonna start with the first fight on the card. We got a little Mizuki Inoue taking on Jacqueline Amorim. Yeah, so this is a big favorite, Jacqueline Amorim. I believe when we did the show on Wednesday, she was like minus 350. She ended up going up as high as like minus 450. Jacqueline Amorim clearly a play on a lot of people's mind. I think this one was one of those, you broke it down a good CF dot model, right? It's a women's MMA fight. You can kind of expect the unexpected. You knew it was going to be close and contentious in some ways. Why not take that plus money underdog? But also, we just knew that Mizuki Inoue had never been finished in her career. So known for durability, spent a lot of time in New York at Serra-Longo, is a better striker, karate black belt, been fighting professionally since she's 15 years old. If she can stuff takedowns and keep it standing, she'll win this fight. If she does get taken down, yeah, just defensively stay sound. And that's kind of exactly what she did. In the first round, Jacqueline Amorim did get the takedowns, but Mizuki Inoue just did a really good job of staying calm, composed, fought the hands, didn't allow her to really establish anything with the rear naked choke attempts. Slightly outlanded Jacqueline Amorim. Amorim had, again, credited with one rear naked choke attempt, had some control time, but then Inoue is able to reverse, end up on top, and it was never any good for Amorim after that. I mean, she just never really regathered her composure. She's very much of a one-dimensional fighter, whereas Amorim can't really wrestle. She can't really strike. So your jiu-jitsu now has to be so good that the second this fight hits the ground, it's instantly over. And in this case, it just really isn't. It's not that good. And so, yeah, she ends up losing the first round just because of a little more damage. The second round, now she can't get her wrestling going. Now she's trying to pull guard. Now she's trying to just survive. Inoue's starting to land some better shots. Third round, much of the same. Inoue got a knockdown. Nice knee to the body. Sets up a good shot upstairs. Jacqueline Amorim falls to her back and then just uses the jiu-jitsu just to stay safe. But at no point was really trying to win this fight outside of the first 2-3 minutes of the first round. Lost 30-27 clean across the board. Was able to survive, but Amorim is a top contender. It's not going to happen. She's not big for the weight class. So the higher you move up the rankings, these girls are just too physical. The takedown defense, therefore, is a lot better, and you're forced to strike. She just doesn't really have the striking to back it up. So, anyway, it was a good dog play to start the thing off. Not that, the PRP ended up working. 9-3-1 with the no contest overall, but at least this was the big underdog that we were able to back. She was able to get the job done. Where does Inoue go from here? Well, she hadn't fought in 2 years. She's had some neck issues. She's been on the sidelines, but yeah, this is a quality win, and I think she factors in with a lot of with a lot of the girls of the division. But is she going to win a world championship? Is she going to be a top five? Probably not. I think the biggest thing coming out of this one is that Amorim, the hopes and dreams of her being a top contender, she'd really have to overhaul her game. Mitropos versus Azat Maxim got this one wrong. Azat Maxim minus 550. He was a big favorite. Thankfully didn't have him on the first two lines, but all the same, he kind of blew some of that value that we had on Mackenzie Dern because he was on the third line alongside her. This is one of these fights that, you can sit here and say it was the wrong call, which it was. And when you look at value, dude's a minus 550 favorite. But this isn't one of those fights where it's like he could not have won this fight. You're so far off. Mitroposo wins this fight 9 out of 10 times. So Mazza Maxim just didn't really have a great game plan. The takedowns were there. He got 7 of them. But overall, just no control time. And I think that's what really hindered him. The first round, he got a little bit, right? 1 for 2, 2 minutes and 18 seconds of control time. I believe uh, none of the judges, or sorry, 2 of the judges had given him that first round. So you just need one more round just like that one. But then after that, he just really wasn't able to do it. 3 for 6 in the second round, only a minute 24 seconds of control time. In the third round, 3 more takedowns on 11 attempts with a minute 45. That second round and third round, they were close. When you look at the numbers, he's getting outstruck, but not by some huge margin. It's that Mitroposo was getting right back up. He was never accepting the positions when he was getting pressed up against the cage or taken down. And when they were striking, he was landing the better shots. Right hand was very effective for him, came over the top, did some really good work with that. Fought an excellent game plan. Raposo also, he himself likes to wrestle. In this fight, he realized, yeah, Maxim's bigger than me, stronger than me, and wants to just engage in the clinch. So offensively, I'm not looking to wrestle him. I'm going to use my superior footwork. And he did a really good job of just constantly evading. He never sat still. He never just constantly move, move, move. Maxim's a lot more slower, plodding, flat-footed. So he's trying to march him down. But even when he would throw those flying knees, it's like he'd throw it, and Raposo's on the other side of the cage by this point. He saw everything coming. He was able to matador him. He outworked him in the second and the third round, and he won a 29-28. Wow, he ended up losing a point. Sorry, Maxim lost a point in the third round, grabbed the cage. It's just another bonehead decision, but otherwise he's lost that round, takedown or not. The cage only helped him get back up to his feet, and then what? They would have been back striking, and Raposo was outlanding him. So I don't think that really changed anything other than if for whatever reason he was able to edge the second or the third as well, he still would have ended up with a draw out of the whole thing. So it was a really bad game plan from Maxim. Obviously, he's limited. I like that he's big for the division, but he's too big for the division. He missed weight, came in at 129 pounds, and then mailed in a bad performance. So, is he the worst fighter on this night? He was, absolutely. But was this like a absolute blowout? Mitroposo blew the brakes off him? Like, no, lost the first round. Second round was pretty close, just unfortunately could have held him down a little bit longer. You would have edged it. The third round, had you not grabbed the cage and maybe got a little more control time, you could have edged it. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't is the bottom line here. So quality win for Mitroposo, picks up his first win in the UFC, cashes as a sizable underdog. Hamdy versus Chris Barnett. Wow. When you watch the UFC, you think you're watching the premium sporting league, premium combat sports, best fighters on the planet, highest level. So how high of level? Chris Barnett's a Taekwondo black belt. And Hamdy's a former Olympic quality wrestler from Egypt. Guy's really good wrestler. Good fight. Just a god-awful fight. The real thing here is that Chris Barnett, who stands at 5'9", is obviously not a heavyweight. He's a little bit older now. He's not looked good in a very long time, but he's not won a fight in 3+ years. Why he's still on the roster, I'm not sure. But they figured that this would be an easy fight for Hamdy. And in the first round, Hamdy got an easy takedown. He gets on top, and he's landing some good ground and pound. Mark Goddard could step in and call this fight off, and it would look like a pretty good performance. Unfortunately, he smacks him in the head a few times, in the back of the head, I should say. Chris Barnett, he's not looking for a way out, but he's given a way out. Mark Goddard says, "Hey, man, I've been warning you. Shots to the back of the head. Hey, you need to go over there." And Chris Barnett's holding his head. His face is bleeding. He's busted up. He's getting 10-8'd in this round. Why would he not take the way out? And you're giving him the way out. Hey, man, I told that guy not to punch you in the back of the head. How are you feeling? And Chris is, and Goddard said, let me bring the doctor in. And you just know that you are about to lose a bunch of money on a fight that you're about to win easily. You're about to lose it all because, a couple shots to the back of the head. And that's the tough part about gambling. You can be on the right side, but still have the wrong result because of one thing here or there. A missed opportunity in the first, a blown call in the third. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas that just don't quite line up. So in this case, me personally, I'm about to lose a bunch of money on Hamdy getting disqualified. And Chris Barnett, similar to when John Jones was beating on Matt Hamill, he's already busted up. The 12-6, he's already got a broken collarbone. 12-6 don't matter. This little shot to the back of the head, did it matter? You're already busted up. All he has to do is, just like Michel Pereira, Diego Sanchez, all he has to do is say, I can't continue. But Chris Barnett, who's got no way of winning this fight and is a terrible fighter and could definitely benefit from getting a second paycheck out of this, balls up and says, I'm in. Let's do it anyways. Goddard takes a point, but what's it matter? He's not going to win this fight on the judges' scorecards. So they resume it. He got 10-8'd in the first because of the point deduction to 9-8. In the second round, it's rinse repeat. Hamdy takes him down. He does the exact same thing to him. It's another 10-8 with no point deduction. And then the third round, it's the same thing. He just takes him down and lies on top of him. I think for Hamdy, it's a terrible performance, being that they gave you the absolute worst guy on the roster. The easiest win for you, and a win that you could look good in, is this one right here. And that's the kind of performance you put in. It looks good on paper. 99 significant strikes landed, 9 takedowns, tons of control time, right? 10 minutes and 48 seconds of control time. The 9 for 14 gives you good 64%. Even his striking, he landed 71% of his shots, mostly ground and pound, of course. It was a really bad performance. And for Barnett, he could have easily just taken the DQ win in the first, but he manned it out and he saved me. And I can appreciate that. He's got the heart of a lion. He didn't need to do that. This fight never got any better for him. He cried on his stool after the first. After the second, they were like, you need to think about your kids and you need to go to a dark place and you need to do something in this fight, man. And then he proceeded to do absolutely nothing. They tried it all, but he tried. It's the bottom line. So props to Chris Barnett. I can appreciate him gutting that one out for me because I would have been so salty losing money on a DQ, which was otherwise what was going to happen. Moving on, Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Delgado. Yeah, I mean, like, I disagree with this decision, but it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. I don't know if did it win fight of the night. This is a really good fight as far as I was concerned. The first round, Jose Delgado looks like he's the true goods, right? He scores the knockdown originally over Nathaniel Wood. He's out striking him easily. You can see almost tripled him up in the significant strikes. This guy is long, he's lengthy, he's got good footwork. The knees up the middle are always a problem, but he throws really nice rangy hooks, and those hooks cause his opponents to step in to the way of the kick or into the way of the knee. Way he flows his weapons together, very nice. It's a beautiful first round, and then I wouldn't say he gets overzealous, but Nathaniel Wood does catch him back, knocks him down. He pops right back up. Absolute beautiful first round from both guys. But Delgado, yeah, they both had knockdown, sure, but Delgado struck him 60-24. He looks really good. It's a Delgado round. The second round, it's like Nathaniel Wood really did start gritting it and going for it. And yeah, obviously start to really put things together. The thing for me is that even though Nathaniel Wood outstruck him 36-29 in the second and 39-37 in the second round, a lot of what Wood was doing was some solid leg kicks. He was coming forward. He was touching him up. But nothing that I overly felt was really hurting Delgado or anything that I would really say was those were the best shots of the round. Whereas Delgado was landing all types of nasty stuff. Even in the third round, Delgado hit a spinning elbow, smashes Wood in the face. Wood got the takedown, to which Delgado immediately pumps back up and lands a couple good knees in the clinch. The shots to me seemed like they were a little heavier. 29-28, and that 29-28 could go in either direction. I just really did feel like it was going to go in Delgado's, and they end up scoring it for Nathaniel Wood. So Wood's a veteran. He's a guy that they do call Nathaniel the prospect Wood, but at this point he's tenured within the UFC. He's fought a lot of high-level fights. He continues to go out there and deliver some solid performances. This was a really gritty, tenacious effort where you got beat up pretty good in the first round. Second and the third round, you were still getting hit hard. But it never deterred him. And even the third, he's the one coming forward. He's the one trying to mix in some combinations and really kind of putting his game together. Didn't really have any success with his wrestling other than a couple quick takedowns in which Delgado got right back up, but was able to just kind of gut it out. And so I'm never going to fault the guy for winning that way. It's by no means a robbery at all. I'm just saying, subjectively speaking, I thought Delgado definitely won the first. And then I believe I had the second scored for him, or, even the third, there's an argument. There's an argument, I guess, for Delgado to have won, and there's an argument for Delgado to have lost. And I'm not going to fault anybody who's on either side, but just for my judge's scorecard, which counts for absolutely nothing, I thought Delgado won that fight. Anyways, moving on. Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. It went exactly how Walter Walker thought it was going to go. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to jump back on the heel hook, and I'm going to bring another one home. 4 straight. Pretty crazy. I think we all start to wake up to this one come weigh-ins when Walter Walker gets on the scale. And again, he's 27 years old. He's really starting to fill out that frame, and he's getting a whole lot of confidence to him. Whereas Louis Sutherland, he's a big guy, but he's just looked very deflated, not in great shape, probably not ready for this fight. And so, yeah, Walter Walker spent no time playing on the feet. He shot the immediate takedown, landed a couple good shots, and then, just it's easy takedown, get on top, drop back for the heel hook. Sutherland rolls like, okay, we've been preparing for this. Oh, no, there goes my ACL. I'm going to tap before this thing gets out of hand. So what do you want to know with this Walter Walker? The thing with matchmaking, the thing with running an organization like the UFC is you can make a guy look like a god, and you can make a guy look really rudimentary. And it all just comes down to matchups. It's a really bad heavyweight division. So Walker just won his 4th straight by a heel hook. And if you were to then say, okay, Walter Walker is now going to fight Chris Barnett, he would win by a 5th straight heel hook. And then you say, okay, we're going to do him versus Hamdy. He likely also subs Handy with a first round heel hook. And then he can fight Muhammad Usman. And he can also get him with a first round heel hook. And you could really stretch this run out for a long time on the basis of there's a lot of bad fighters in the division. So I kind of get the impression that the UFC wants to market him and they'll probably still feed him some low level guys. And this will continue to work. But it's hard to say that it's going to work against the highest level because he's not done it against anybody that you would consider good to this point. For Louis Sutherland, I mean, this is tough titties, man. What are you supposed to do? The guy took you down. He was going to grab your leg. He's going to sub you. That's it. He's probably more suited for a stand and bang type of fight. Maybe he could fight somebody that's, willing to stand in front of him and engage and have some type of sloppy fight like that. But is he going to be a top 10 heavyweight? Is he a top 15 heavyweight? Is he anything more than serviceable? He didn't really get to show any of his skills, but I'm leaning towards probably no. Ludovic Klein versus Matus Rebecki. This was also a fine fight. Tons of good moments. Klein's a low volume striker, but he showed up ready to go to business this time. That first round, I mean, again, he's sniping, he's using his good southpaw weaponry, beautiful straight left down the middle, beautiful high kicks. And he rocks Rebecki a couple times, busts him up. Classic Matus Rebecki fight. He's bleeding all over the place. That's kind of to be expected. But he stops all 5 of the takedowns. He forces them to keep standing. And again, this is another fight where when you look at Wood versus Delgado, it's like, oh, the numbers suggest Wood outlanded him, but Delgado landed the bigger strikes. I'm not saying Rebecki outlanded him, but the numbers are pretty close, 25-21. It's the quality of shots. Rebecki got busted up. Meanwhile, he landed a few shots here and there, but nothing that really did much. Second round, much of the same. Rebecki did get a quick takedown, but Klein pops right back up, and then he's forced to strike. That little reach of Rebecki is what continues to get him in trouble. 66 inches, 5'7" at 155 pounds. So even though Klein's a former featherweight as well, and is also 5'7", he had a 5-inch reach advantage, and Rebecki continuously was pulling up his punches, coming up short. He walks into a bunch of them. There's no credited knockdowns, but Rebecki does the stanky leg a couple times. He is absolutely hurt. Eats a couple flush kicks to the head, eats some nasty counter left hooks, but he took everything. That third round, I would like to say it's just the broken ankle, but it's a lot of fatigue too. Like Klein, I think, was tired. He hit Rebecki with a lot of big shots in the first and second, and this is high volume for Ludovic Klein. He don't usually go out there and land 25 and 35 significant strikes in a round. Look at these totals, right? 41 total strikes he landed in that round. That's a higher clip than he likes to perform at. And so in that third round, I think he was tired and he gets taken down. Maybe he busted his ankle on the takedown. Maybe he busted on one of the kicks. I don't know. But in any event, he's lying on his back with a broken ankle. Can't get back up. Doesn't want to get back up because he can't because he has a broken ankle. But he's up 2 rounds. So all he really needs to do is hold on, and he's going to win this. There's an argument that if you just hold on, Rebecki might get a 10-8. And that's a fair point. But there's no way that if Rebecki's going to get a 10-8 out of this, that Klein didn't get a 10-8 in one of his rounds, especially that second round where he stanky legged him twice. So really just hold on. Then that's all he did. It was reminiscent of Andre Sukumantath versus Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley busts his leg. If Sukumantath just stands up and backs away, and the ref looks at Sean O'Malley and says, "You need to stand up," he can't. Okay, his leg is busted. But you stay on top of him and you kill the clock off. That's what Rebecki did. He's on top. He's trying to get a finish, but he's not really passing guard. He did. He tried to crucifix Klein a dozen times, but Klein was super wise to him. And every time dug his elbow back in, squared up his hips. Well, he would shrimp. He'd get off to an angle and he'd square himself back up. He did a really good job of defending himself. If Rebecki knew the ankle was broken, if Rebecki's team that's cornering him from behind him knew the ankle was broken, all he had to do was just stand up. If it was like, yeah, I can't knock him out from this ground and pound I'm trying, I'm going to stand up and wing a couple bombs the last minute of this fight. They would have separated. The ref would have said, stand up. Klein could not stand up. That was the end of the fight. He didn't do that, and so the round ends. And then, so this one becomes very interesting in this train of thought, right? I thought Klein won because he won the first 2 rounds, even though it's a possible 10-8 Rebecki in the third, which I'm not going to disagree with, that it's a possible 10-8 for Klein in the second. So he's going to win a decision. Quite confident of that. What's brought to my attention in the group chat, and I was thinking about it lots, is if the first round ends and you can't get back up, it's over. You can't stand up. Your corner's not even allowed to pick you up. You have to stand up on your own will and go into your corner, or the ref will wave it off. At the end of the second round, it's the same thing. In the end of the third round, if you can't get back up to your feet and go back to your corner at the end of the fight, did you win the fight? Like, should it not be ruled a TKO? Hey, the fight's done. Rebecki gets up. He puts his hands in the air. He's wearing a crimson mask. There's blood everywhere. Not seen that much blood in a fight since Edwin Deweese spilt plasma all over the canvas 15 years ago. It was a bloody. He gets up and he puts his hands up, and the other guy's lying on the canvas like, I can't get up. I can't get up. Is that not a TK? Should that not be the end of the fight right there? Now people will say no because the fight's over. He doesn't need to get up. The fight is over. It's over now. Well, go back and watch Ricky Simone versus Merab Dvalishvili, right? Merab gets caught in the guillotine choke at the end of the fight. He does not tap. The buzzer goes. The fight is over. Merab does not instantly get back up to his feet. He lies on the canvas for a few seconds. The ref looks at him. You ain't getting up. He waves it off. You got Rebecki drubbed this guy to the tune of a 10-8. Okay? He's smashing him in the face with elbows. He's knocking him in the face. The buzzer goes. Rebecki gets up and he walks away. This guy lies on the canvas and does broken ankle or not. He's lying on the canvas saying, I can't get back up. Is that not a TKO? I don't know. I had money on Rebecki. Sorry, I had money on Klein. So I'm glad they didn't go with that. But would I have been able to have faulted them? Would I have been able to have been salty about that and said, yeah, man, I got screwed? Like, it's a very good point. And the precedent is guys like Merab didn't get back up and he lost. And other guys in the past, you don't get up between rounds, and we're going to call it. So there's already been a precedent to that before. And Rebecki really did a fine job of pulling himself back into it in that third round. But again, it was just too little too late because he lost the first two. Ekram Maliscarov versus Jun Young Park. Uh, this is where, again, more of this wrestling starts happening. So to this point, the prelims haven't been bad. You got a whole lot of grappling in Mizuki Amorim, but it wasn't unbearable. Maxim was attempting to grapple the entire time. Just credit to Mitropos. He was like holding a cat in a bucket of water. He just like would not accept the positions at any point. Hamdy versus Chris was all grappling. Rebecki versus Klein was a dope fight. It was a good fight. But it really starts right around Ikram and then, a couple fights down after that. But he just relied on the 5 takedowns. Park fought a good fight, I thought. I thought Maliscarov in the first round did good with his striking. He looked a lot more measured. We talked at length about how many first round finishes he's got. He's like to get these things out of there really quick. First round knockout, first round sub. However, he can do it early, right? That's kind of his style. Well, against Park, it probably wasn't going to work, right? You gotta fight this guy for an extended period of time. You really got to work him over. You got to conserve some energy because he can keep on going. And so I thought Ikram did a really good job in that first round of just pacing himself and playing it smart. The longer that it would go, I think he started to get tired, and then now he's got Park that's hitting him. So what do? Well, you resort to your wrestling. You're Dagestani. You got a Habir. You're buddies with Chimaev. You fought Chimaev. Now you're buddies with him. You know the get out of jail free card, and it's use your wrestling. And so even though Park, is a fine fighter, he's got an issue with giving up a bunch of takedowns. And although his get up game's not bad, it usually takes him 90 seconds to 2 minutes to really get into gear and get back up. And so it's just time constantly being chewed off the clock. It basically happened in every round. Ikram, 35-17 in the first. The second round, Park, he's working his way back into this. He outlanded him in the significant strikes category, but the takedown in the 2 minutes gives it to Ikram. Third round, it seemed like Park was live. He outlanded him 23-21, but he gave up 2 takedowns in 3 minutes and 26 seconds of control time. So his rhythm just kept getting taken away over and over. And where there's other fights where we can complain about, where it's like, oh, he was losing the striking, but then he got takedowns. If you don't do anything with the takedown, you're losing. Ikram Maliscarov was getting takedowns and he was landing ground and pound. He was doing enough to take away Park's momentum on the feet and just kind of do what he had to do. I scored it for him 30-27. Judges had it 30-27 across the board. And again, he did get outstruck on the numbers in 2 of the 3 rounds. But the takedowns, the control time, he fought a well-rounded game plan, which is something we've not seen him had to do because he's not had to fight 15 minutes. Did he look like a world beater? No. But did he show you that he can do more than just finish somebody in the first round? Yes, and I think that is important. Quinlan Salkilld versus Nasrat Hagparast. I took a bath on this one. Not because I was overexposed on Hagparast, but I did have the Hagparast by decision, and I took a little bit of the over 2.5. I parlayed it with some stuff. Thinking Hagparast has been knocked out once by Drew Dober, but outside of that, this guy's been cast iron. He's fought a lot of guys. His durability is not an issue. Quinlan Salkilld, big tall guy, been trying to wrestle, been trying to grapple. I think he's got 2 career wins by knockout. He's not really a big power puncher or a highly refined striker. Hagparast will get hit in fights 130, 140 times and never seems to back down. Both guys are very durable, and I don't think the grappling is gonna be enough that one guy subs the other guy or takes him down and smashes him on the ground. So I was very confident that Hagparast would win, but if he didn't win, over 2.5 would be the savior there. This is MMA, man. MMA is just a wild, wild, wild sport where it doesn't matter that a guy has got great durability or that a guy can't strike. Krokop versus Gabriel Gonzaga. Gabriel Gonzaga is a jiu-jitsu guy. And Krokop's got the nastiest high kicks in the game, and all he does is head kick guys. And they fight each other, and Gabe Gonzaga, who's really otherwise not known for his knockout power, head kicks Miracle Krokop. How does it happen? Well, it's MMA. It's a crazy sport. So what happened here, man? I thought Nasrat was looking just fine. Round starts, he's getting slightly outpaced by Salkilld, but I think he's landing good shots. He stuffs all 4 of Salkild's takedowns like nothing. Salkilld doesn't even come close. So now Salkild's game plan is take you down. He wants 9, 10 takedowns. He's not even coming close. He's forced to strike. Now that he's forced to strike with Nasrat, Nasrat's going to beat him up, and he kicks him straight in the head, just like Gonzaga versus Krokop. And yeah, I mean, Hagparast is dead the whole way down. He hits the canvas. He starts to seize up. You can see his legs start to twitch. Absolute nasty knockout. Knockout of the year material. It'll be a candidate for sure. And with Quinlan Salkilld, I mean, I think he definitely just showed a complete different element to his game. I mean, not saying like this one head kick changes everything. It's just, yeah, he's only 25, man. And he can, not he's like he's a great wrestler, but he'll shoot 20 takedowns and maybe get 5 or 10 of them. And it's not like he's a great striker, but he's tall and he's long and he'll kick you in the head. He just becomes he's a threat in multiple areas that if he can strike with you, he'll do it. And if he can grapple with you, he can do it. But that's what you like to see out of a good prospect. Again, he's very big for the weight class, very long, proportionate, and then using this head kick to just kick the shorter man standing in front of you, wanting to brawl, coming in with his hands low. Beautiful kick up high. So, I mean, I can't discredit him. He cost me a few bucks, that's for sure. But a Quinlan Salkilld with an absolutely beautiful head kick knockout. And for Nasrat Hagparast, it's not like, oh, it's the beginning of the end and he's chinny now. It's like, if someone took a Louisville slugger and smashed you in the face, like, I don't care if you're Cain Velasquez or if you're John Jones. Like, if someone took a baseball bat and smashed you in the side of the head, like, there's a really high probability you're going unconscious. This was like an NFL kicker doing the opening kick to the opposing team. Like, he just there was a lot of momentum. It hit so clean. Dems to breaks, man. Tough break for Nasrat Haqparast, but what can you do when that kind of move lands? Azamat Murzakanov versus Alexander Rakich. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, Murzakanov does what he does. The guy's undefeated for a reason. He's got absolutely tremendous power. His training partners rave about him. The guys that fight him don't remember it happening because he usually leaves them completely sprawled out unconscious. But part of me is also thinking Alexander Rakich just finds ways to lose. Like, he'll be doing good in a lot of these fights. He's using that 6'4" frame. He's using some leg kicks. He's using some of his speed, and he's unable to fight a complete fight. He's unable to really complete a full round, really, as of late. And I get it. He went the distance with Ankalaev, who seemingly can't finish anybody. And, he won the first round against Yuri Petroska, but that's a good example. He wins the first round. And the longer this thing is going to divulge into a real fight, get to a real scrap, he stands his ground, you stand yours, and he just seems to kind of crumple up a little bit. So it wasn't like he took a dive. He got hit with a couple nasty shots and fell over, but it's the hurt business. You're not always just going to be the guy always putting on the offense. Sometimes your opponent's going to hit you back. And that's where Rakic struggles. He's fine all day hitting you. You land 3 back on him, and they're meaningful shots, and he just falls over. So this now puts him on a 4-fight losing streak. No doubt about it. He only fights the best guys. But is that enough? Is it enough to say you've lost 4 in a row? Is it enough to say you've not won a fight in almost 4 years? But you fight the best guys, but you're getting clowned on and knocked out. in that fashion. So, I mean, I like Rakich. He's my Balkan brother, not Croatian. He's a little bit the other way. But I'm saying, listen, we're all in this together. I've always been a fan of his work, and again, I think he's super talented. But it's that light heavyweight division for all of its faults. It's like there's a number of punchers in this division. You fought in a few of them. It's not gone good. You make enough money that they're not just going to put you on against contender series guys. And even these contender series guys, it's like, yeah, here's some random 205er from Brazil who's 7-0, whose family is poor in the favelas, and he promised his mom he was going to buy her a new hut. Do you want to fight that guy? Nah, that guy's a very, very dangerous man who wants this to improve his situation and improve his life and improve that of his family. And he's a man on a mission. And Rakich, like, I don't know that he's like really wants to be in there for the long run. So, well, interesting to see where they go with him if they're going to use him. I'm sure they'll use him. I'm not saying he should retire, but I don't know what spot do you give him. Do you allow him to go on a 5-fight losing streak? Do you give him a confidence booster? What does that confidence booster even look like? And then for Murzakanov, this puts him right into fringe title contention. Like if he can now go out and knock out a Johnny Walker, or he can go out and knock out a Volkan Uzdemir, or he can go knock out someone in that, like a Dominic Reyes. I don't know. Just go beat somebody that's been in title contention, or someone that's fought for the title, or someone that's a little bit more of a name. And he's doing all the right things. He's got the style to beat these guys up. And yeah, again, that power to land on anybody can change the course of things really quickly. So expect Asmat Murzakanov to be in a big fight his next time out. Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Yeah, wonky fight. Wonky fight. I know people don't want to hear this, and the only reason I say that is because of the amount of just news cycle type stuff where people are saying, biggest robbery of all time, or robbery of the century, or the sport is corrupt, and no, I can't believe this, and robbery, 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 robbery. I personally disagree. I disagree. I think Alexander Volkov is the rightful winner of this fight. It just depends how you look at it. Obviously it's going to be very subjective when a guy spends the entire round on his back, but this is a fight. It's not a jiu-jitsu match. It's a fight. And Almeida showed up and treated it like a jiu-jitsu match. All he's trying to do is just take you down. And if I pass his guard, maybe I get some points. Plus I got points for the takedown. It's like, no, no, no. This is not a no-gi jiu-jitsu match. It's a fight. So who won the no-gi jiu-jitsu match? Almeida all day long. Jailton Almeida won that. Who won the fight? Yeah, definitely Alexander Volkov, in my opinion. The first round, Jailton Almeida comes out right off the get-go, scores an easy money takedown. Just so easy. And then he sets up shop. He's looking for mount, but Volkov does a really good job of continuously not regarding, he'd get back to half guard. So at least just prevent himself from getting mounted. Doesn't really give up his back. When he gets into a couple bad spots, he's immediately able to get out of it. He's in survival mode, but he's doing an excellent job of surviving. The thing is that Almeida, who's spending all this time on top, 3 minutes to be exact, 2 minutes and 38 seconds, 0 significant strikes thrown. Here's an even better stat. 0 significant strikes attempted. Okay? None. Didn't even try to punch him hard. He did land 1 total strike. One, that would be a total strike. I tried to pass and I accidentally gave you one in the side of the head. That would be a total strike, but nothing significant. Meanwhile, Volkov's able to hit a reversal. He ends up on top. He only has 2 minutes of top control, but with that 2 minutes of top control, he lands 38 total strikes, 15 of which are significant. The 15 that were significant is when Volkov was on top. Those were the significant shots. The 38, or the rest of them that make up the rest of the balance, the 23 other ones, where when he was on the back, he would be smacking Jailton on the face. He kept elbowing him. And then Goddard was so obsessed about the punches in the back of the head all night. He'd be like, "What's the back of the head? What's the back of the head, Alexander?" He'd be like, "Okay," but he's trying. So he wins the first round. Why? Because he outstruck him 15-0. And of course, he had the top control. The second round. It's easy money, Jailton Almeida with the takedowns. Again, he's just going back to the takedowns. Even when Goddard's like, "You guys need to stand up now because you're doing nothing," he just went and got the takedown again. 4 minutes and 27 seconds of control time. That's a lot of control time. The total strikes, 9-8. The significant strikes, 4-2. This is a Jailton Almeida round. 100%. Volkov did nothing. Not like Jailton did a lot. He landed 4 significant strikes. But he still won the round. Because he landed more. And he had the control time. And nothing happened. But nothing happened and one guy was on top doing the bare minimum more, it's a 1-1. This thing is clear as day, a 1-1. So now you got this third round, and so people will say, well, Almeida went the 3 for 3 in the takedowns. Again, if he wanted outside trips, if he wanted single legs, he did a really good job. Volkov's takedown defense looked god-awful in this fight. But Jailton's short, compact, able to get to his hips and drive him down. 3:42 of control time, not a great look. But Volkov gets 43 seconds, ends the round on top, right? The total strikes, people. This is what needs to be assessed. 77 total strikes to 17. You can be on top of somebody and holding them, and they're constantly punching you in the face and elbowing you in the face and pushing you and trying to hit you. And then when the fight was standing in the third round, Volkov landed a couple knees up against the fence. He landed a few better shots standing, and then he'd get taken down, and he would constantly be trying to smash Almeida in the face. Almeida, meanwhile, is not trying to do anything. He got outstruck. He got outlanded. Now, I understand he's on top, and I understand he's racking up control time, but it's a fight. Would you go home and tell your wife and be like, hey, honey, I kicked this guy's ass today. I ran into this guy at the hardware store. I kicked his ass. I was like, oh, babe, what happened? It's like, took his ass down, got on top. It's like, then what happened? It's like, well, then he was like punching me in the face and elbowing me in the face. It's like, and then what'd you do? Held his ass down. And then what was he doing? He continued to punch me and elbow me in the face. It's like, did you do any of like damage to him? It's like, no. It's like, oh. And what are the numbers on this one exactly? It's like, okay, well, by the total strikes, Volkov outlanded him 123 to 27. So who won? Volkov won. And the judges got that one right. 2 judges gave it to him. 1 went for the control time, which I'm not going to fault. It was a lot of control time. This is not a robbery. It's a subjective fight that could have gone either way. I thought Volkov won it. They gave it to him. That's fine. But to see like robbery of the year, oh my God, the sport is fixed. It's corrupt. I cannot believe that this happened. Way off base, man. Way off base. Anyways, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. People could make the same argument in this fight. Although, I think Umar legitimately did win the fight. It's a lot of the same, You're getting takedowns and control time, but maybe not necessarily doing much with it. The difference to me here is that Umar would get the takedowns, and then he did land more. He landed 4 minutes and 30 seconds of control time, 32-8 in the totals, 5-1 in the significance, right? The second round, it's the same thing. He doubles him up in the significance. He doubles him up in the totals, but he does get knocked down. So does 3 minutes in control time and 12 significant strikes outweigh a knockdown and 9 significant strikes? Like, this is plausibly a Mario Bautista round when you think about it. I didn't necessarily give it to him personally, I'll be honest with you, but I could see the argument. The third round, again, it's like Umar did what he had to do. It wasn't like he ran away with it in any one of these rounds. It's just a lot of control time. By the end of it, you've got 10 minutes and 46 seconds of control time, but you've only outstruck him 32-20. So that's what I mean when I'm like, I'm always the first guy when, even if I have losing bets, that it's like, this was still an enjoyable card because it was entertaining. And I'm a fight fan more than anything else. I love the sport. I love the action. I love the thrill. I love the agony of defeat and the thrill of victory, the mountain peaks and the valleys. You love all that stuff, right? This card was between Mitropos and Maxim was a terrible fight. Barnett versus Hamdy was a terrible fight. Ikram versus Park, it's not a terrible fight. It wasn't good, it wasn't terrible. Volkov versus Almeida was a terrible fight. Umar versus Mario really wasn't a good fight. It was okay, it wasn't great. Mackenzie Dern versus Vernon Jandiroba. This is a good fight. But so much grappling again. I don't know what to say. This one kind of went about as you thought it would, in that you knew that Vernon was going to shoot a bunch of takedowns. You knew that Vernon would get those takedowns. You knew that Mackenzie Dern's grappling would be good enough to stay out of harm's way, but her takedown defense wasn't good enough to keep it upright. So it'd be her spending time on her back, but staying defensively sound, getting back up, and then needing to outwork Verna when she was standing back up. And that's kind of what she did. This is the theme of this fight. It's like, what are you doing with the total strikes? What are you doing with the overall? First round is Verna gets the 2 takedowns, 2 minutes of control time, outlands Mackenzie Dern. Second round, Mackenzie Dern is able to slightly edge her, but even when she's getting taken down, you're just seeing a lot of work off her back. Third round, same thing. Fourth round, much of the same. I thought Verna Jandiroba did an excellent job. I personally had it scored 4-1 for Mackenzie Dern. I thought Verna won round 2, I believe. Well, what round did I give Verna? Maybe it was round 3. I'd have to watch it back. It all kind of feels like a blur now. But I had it 2-1 Dern going into 4 and 5, and had Dern winning 4 and 5. 4-1 for Dern. There's an argument out there that Jandiroba was up 2-1 going into the 4th, lost the 4th, and that is 2-2. So a 3-2 Dern or a 4-1 Dern, both acceptable. That's what the judges end up rendering. 2 of them had it 3-2. One of them had it Saul Diamano, which hate that I'm on the same boat with Saul. But yeah, it was just a lot was going on in the sense that there was lots of small, short strikes, but Verna just seemed to not be landing much in the way of significant strikes. So by the end of it, who's the UFC going to put the belt around? The girl that's been active and is very marketable and very pretty, and you set this fight up for, or Verna, who's cast iron and added a whole lot of wrinkles to her game. Her striking actually looked pretty good. She landed a bunch of good right hands standing. Just she's not a comfortable volume striker. She's not a 2-3 punch combination kind of girl. She's capable of landing one good right hand, but then it's usually into a takedown. Got takedowns all day in this one. 9 for 17 with 9 minutes of control time. But it's not a 15-minute fight where you had 9 minutes of control time. It's a 25-minute long fight. Therefore, the vast majority of it was her not necessarily getting top control or time up against the cage. It was Mackenzie Dern moving her feet and landing a few better shots and just kind of outworking her. So I agree with the decision in this one. I think Dern won. Is Dern the best 115-pound fighter in the world? No. She might be the hottest one, and therefore she's the UFC champion. Something we all need to accept, people. Sad reality of the fight game. Then we got this main event. So, this card's super underwhelming and has underperformed to this point. Not betting-wise. I just mean from, an action standpoint. It would be real great for a heavyweight main event for the UFC title. Baddest man on the planet. And yeah, just over before it really got going. Never really got to marinate. Never really know what was going to happen. But the amount of hate, we'll break it down really quick. Everybody knows what happened. Tom Aspinall looks a little stiff in this first round. He's coming forward. He's trying to land his boxing combinations. He's got heavy hands, but he sits down on everything. Everything he's throwing is 100% power. And so for Cyril Gane, who's fought Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and he's fought Francis Ngannou, and he's fought pretty well all the big heavyweight punchers, he doesn't have any chin issues. He has grappling issues. So Tom's sitting down on these big power punches. They were either missing and were taxing his cardio, or Gane wasn't like Gane was being elusive and was moving. He was standing in front of him saying, go ahead. But you weren't getting anything back from these power shots. Nothing really got his attention. Meanwhile, he's keeping it simple. Jab through the middle and the inside low kick. Tom's loading up on his punches coming forward. That inside low kick disrupts his balance. That jab follows up behind it. He's not really expecting it. Pops him in the face. Minute into it, he's got his nose bleeding. He's starting to do some good work. Longer this first round goes, Tom shoots one takedown. Very half-hearted takedown. Kind of goes for it. Gane easily circles out. And at that point, Tom didn't go back to it. He was kind of like, okay, I will try to just knock you out with a big punch. And Cyril went back to playing dividends. It's a close round. Cyril outlanded him 30-27. But the bloody nose, the stuffed takedown, the all-around ring generalship, some of those nice little low kicks. It's a Gane round. It's a Gane round. Looks good. There's still 4 more rounds to go. Still lots of things that can happen. But the way this thing's going, Tom's going to either need to increase the volume or more so than all that, commit to a few takedowns and get this thing to the ground. And then, yeah, you're never really going to know because the eye poke comes in. There's 25 seconds left in the round. Pokes him in the eye. It's a double eye poke. They show the replay. You see both fingers go in. It appears that one eye gets it worse than the other. Tom's more affected by the one that looked less poked. So then you got these internet conspiracy theorists who are going out there saying he's holding the wrong eye and it's fixed and this guy's taking it down. There was people online saying that Nasrat Hagparast threw that fight. That was a work. He fixed that fight. Like in what world does a guy kick you in the head like that? It's a work. But that's just how people want to think, especially if they've lost money. And you could see the line moving, especially in the hours leading up to the fight, that there was money coming in on Cyril Gane. And Cyril Gane had a nice first round to the point of the stoppage. So people are going to get extra upset because they may have not lost money. It's a no contest, but they didn't win that money. Their parlay didn't have that nice big plus money guy to cap it off. The straight money bet at plus money that they were dying to cash because they had great CLV on it or whatever the case. So there's like people are upset. Then there's other people that are like, hey, I bought this pay-per-view and I want a heavyweight main event and it's an eye poke. And so all of these things just kind of like came to a head and like a boil over. And Tom Aspinall just became public enemy number one where you're blaming him. He can't see. Got poked in the eye. Chael Sonnen's out on record saying, well, he's the heavyweight champ of the world. It might be expected that you might have to fight with one eye. Yeah, if he slams me in the face with a legal elbow and I can't see out of my eye, well, I have no choice but to continue. If it's an illegal blow, why is the onus on him to continue? And he's saying he can't see. What more do you want? Did you not see the replay? Did you not see the slow-mo? Can you not see him getting finger blasted worse than a virgin on prom night? He's not going anywhere, man. Got poked. Now, the train of thought is, well, he's the heavyweight champ. He's a tough guy. He was going to fight John Jones. I can't believe this. It's an illegal blow. So if I continue to fight, if I just say, hey, I can't see out of this eye, but I'm a tough guy and people want to see me fight, and I come out and I now lose, you're a bum. Overrated bum that sucks and lost as a big favorite, but you chose to continue. We just saw it last week with Kyle Prepelic, right? Kyle Prepelic wins the second round over against Drew Dober. He's doing just fine. Drew Dober hoofs him in the balls. He can't continue. He takes 4.5 minutes. And the crowd want to see him continue. And Drew's saying, come on, man, let's fight. And the ref says, can you continue? And, the UFC wants me to continue up. Okay. And Drew Dober doesn't say, yeah, I'm going to give you a few minutes and we'll go back to having a feeling out process. You're good. I'm really sorry about that. No, the ref says go. Drew Dober bum rushes him. If you're going to allow this kind of stuff to happen and the expectation is that the fighter should just accept it, just get kicked in the balls, just get poked in the eye. Who cares? You should just fight anyways. Or you're a bitch, or you're soft, or you're a coward, or you wanted a way out. Then why wouldn't the game plan be for everybody? Okay, fight starts and kick him in the groin as hard as you can. The ref's not going to do anything about it. Not only that, you can kick him in the groin twice and the ref is not going to do anything about it. Not only that, you can poke him in the eye twice and kick him in the groin once, and it's all fine. You're allowed to do all of that within the rules because nobody loses a point after one eye poke or two eye pokes or one groin shot or two groin shots. Then why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Because now I can kick this guy in the groin, and he's going to take 4 minutes to recover. And then the fight resumes, and then I'm gonna poke him right in the eye, and then he's gonna take 4 more minutes to recover. And now the fight starts, and he's sore because I kicked him in the groin, and he's got obscured vision in one eye, and now the fight starts, and I've not lost any points, and the fight starts, and my opponent is compromised. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, they're martial artists and the Bushido code, and a real man wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's how I think. That's how you think. That's how a reasonable person thinks. But someone who's fighting for their life in a steel cage is not a reasonable person, right? It's the art of war. If you've ever read Art of War, you need to game the system however you can. So why wouldn't you take your 2 fouls? Why wouldn't you, Drew Dober, buy yourself some more time? If you win the first round and you lose the second round, I'm going to fight clean. First round, I fight clean. I win. See it all the time. As at Maxim. Even on the first round, cool. Second round, I lose. And I fight clean. And I lose. This is 1-1. And I'm tired. I take my 1 minute between rounds. Third round starts. I kick him as hard as I can in the groin. I don't lose a point. He takes 5 minutes. I got 1 minute between round. I got 5 minutes of him being on timeout. The ref does not take a point away. The ref says, are you good to continue? This guy, the fans are going to hate him. They're going to crucify him like they did to Tom Aspinall if he says he can't. Or like to Kevin Hall. And if this guy can't continue, Then all of a sudden he's quitter. That's what they're just going to say. So you say, yeah, I can continue. Now my opponent, who was tired, he won the first round. I got him tired. I won the second. We're going into a third. He just called a Mexican timeout. Got 5 minutes plus his 1 minute between rounds, 6 minutes. He's recharged. It's the third round, 1-1. I just been lying on the canvas for 3 minutes. I'm cold. I'm not warmed up. I can feel my left nut up inside my intestines, man. And then no, you should continue. Well, if that's the norm, if just everybody should continue, and I don't care if you're hurt, or I don't care if you can't see it, you should fight because you're a prize fighter. But it's not cockfighting, right? This chicken doesn't lose an eye and then go into the next round. Like, super weird. The sentiment of this guy quit and wanted a way out, and Ciryl Gane is this very poor, humble guy that literally eye pokes him before, earlier in the round, he eye pokes him. And then at the end of the round, he double eye pokes him. It's like, oh, yeah, real good guy. Real good guy. Should have got disqualified is what should have happened. But a no contest is cool in my books because I had a lot of exposure on Tom Aspinall, being that I would have hedged out. And I told everybody this. We go into that last main event with 3-4 good lines in play. We hedge. Unfortunately, because Maxim lost, I only had 2 good lines in play here. So I had to let it ride. And I didn't like how the round was going. But it's not a foregone conclusion. This wasn't rounds 2, 3, 4. You know this fight is over. You're 4.5 minutes into a fight that's 25 minutes long. You don't think he could have taken the first round off? You don't think he could have made adjustments in the second and shot more takedowns? It's a heavyweight fight. You don't think it hits the ground at one point? If it does hit the ground, do you not think Tom Aspinall could rip up a quick submission? Guy subbed Alex Volkov with a straight armbar in 2 minutes. You don't think he could just get gone down one time and grab something real quick? Yeah, it wouldn't have taken much. So the notion that he just absolutely quit, I don't know. And I would blame Dana a little bit because, like, Dana was harsh on him at the press conference, being like, I don't think you want to continue. But the narrative was already out there before the press conference. It's just what the fans saw. And the Discord, same thing over on the Bookie Beatdown Discord. A lot of great guys in there, a lot of great opinions, and then just a lot of opinions of a guy Quinn. I don't get it. Some things in life, it's like this is not polarizing at all. I assume everybody's on the same page. Somebody gets assassinated in public, let's say, and it's like everyone's on the same page that this is very wrong, bad thing. Then there's a subgroup people, and there's a lot of them, and they completely will change your opinion. Not change your opinion. They open your eyes to the holy crap. I didn't think anybody would think this. And there's not only a few people that think that, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. This was the same thing. He gets eye poked. Very unfortunate. I think we're all on the same page. Like, that sucked. Anticlimactic way to end a UFC pay-per-view. And yeah, hopefully we can run this thing back in January or February. Have them fight again. Be closer on the money line this time. If you like Aspinall, you'll get a much better price on him. And if you like Gane, you'll have another chance to get him as an underdog, let's say. Why not? To see the amount of people that just shit down old poor Tommy's throat about being a quitter and he's overrated and he sucks and I can't believe this. It's like, wow, man. World is a scary place. But, I understand being frustrated if you were going to win money on it and the guy loses and whatever. But why? Well, I don't know why people have like that salty about something. Number one rule of gambling is you're not trying to lose what you can't afford to lose, right? So if you're in a spot where it's like I have to pay rent at the end of the month, but I also got to pay this other bill, so I'm gonna use all my rent money to win enough money to cover rent and that other bill, and you really need this thing to happen, and the guy quits, and you're mad at him. Like, I get it, but it's a your choice thing. Last thing I'll say, it has nothing to do with money, but it also, if you're Tom Aspinall, right, you have this, you're building this legacy. UFC heavyweight champion comes with its perks. Baddest man on the planet. You're signing autographs. You can do seminars. There's hype. UFC wants to headline a card with you. Maybe they want to go to Manchester. Maybe if they can get you a few more wins, we can get into a soccer stadium. Maybe we can build this whole vibe. Tom Aspinall's the man. You hear that hot mic with Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier's like, dude, you're in a very, very good position here that the division's weak. You match up very well with all these guys in the division. You can go on a legendary run here, really, really, make a legacy and make some money and change your life and change your family's life for generations. Tom's like, oh yeah, I know. It's all laid out there for you, right? It's all there for the taking. I get poked in the eye and I can't see. But the fans are booing. Oh, I want to see a fight. Tom's soft. You're supposed to be the toughest man on the planet, man. Okay, I'm gonna fight. And I fight. And Cyril Gane comes with an elbow right over the top of that eye I can't really see out of and KOs me. Or hits me with a front kick down the middle. I'm seeing two front kicks. And turns out the one on the right wasn't the real one. It was the one. And I eat it right in the face and I'm knocked out. All that goes away, man. The legacy, he's not that good. And the reputation, he's not that good. And the autograph signings, well, who wants a Tom Aspinall 1 of 1? The guy's not that good. And just the next payday and the next pay-per-view buys and like all of that goes away because you wanted to fight compromise because that's what the fans wanted. A couple gamblers wanted that. Some people are upset at home. They want you to continue. I'm going to piss away potentially $50 million, $100 million in long-term equity on my career just to please a few people that think I should fight with one eye. Um, unless you're Michael Bisping and you physically only have one eye, and you got to do what you got to do. And we saw with Vicente Luque a couple weeks ago now, right? He thinks it's an eye poke. He's like, I can't see. Alvarez hits him. Joel Alvarez hits him. He thinks he can't see. He looks at the ref. Oh, I can't see. As soon as they were like, it's a legal punch, you see him right away, very apologetic, like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I can fight. I can fight. I can fight. If Tom got punched in the face, if he got kicked in the face and it's a legal strike, he wouldn't have been holding it, looking at the ref, being like, I can't see. I can't see. I don't want to fight no more. Call this fight off. He wouldn't have gone to his corner between rounds and said, I can't see. Then it's a, hey, Georges St. Pierre ripped his hamstring. Okay. Well, we got to fight through this. If the guy kicked you in the groin and tore your groin, are you supposed to just get up off the mat and fight him still? Like, no, it's an illegal move. You don't have to fight through that. Anyways, that's all I got. Probably sounds like I'm whining at this point, but sometimes I get passionate over something like that. And they'll run a rematch, and it is what it is. But and if you're thinking, dude, I think Tom quit, and I'm not saying you're an idiot, you know what you're talking about. I'm just saying that I just had a different perspective. It's not the way I saw it personally. I think Tom stands to lose a lot in the spot. You're taking it seriously. You can't see out of your eye. No one can say he's fine, he can see. You're not him. He's really the only guy that knows if he can see or not. And it's not a matter of he can't see. It's that is the vision damaged? Is it obscured? I've seen people detach their retina and they can still see some shades and they can still see some colors and they'll fight out the rest of the fight and then have to go and get it repaired surgically afterwards. But it's like the heat of the battle, I may get hurt, right? If this is we're playing football and the guy walks up to me and kicks my quarterback's leg and breaks it, and then they say, okay, now let's start the game. It's like, no way, man. Your whole team's disqualified. You get tossed out of here. Like, you can't be doing that kind of shit. So you compromise a guy, you change the outcome. It's not good. I saw this will be actually the last thing I leave you with is that the last couple weeks, and maybe it's just me, it's like it's been a lot of fouls. Whether it's the last UFC in Vancouver, obviously with the Mike Malott fight, and it happened again in the Drew Dober fight, and then this fight, there's multiple eye pokes, and there's cage grabs, and there's groin strikes, and it's just like never ending. That I think you just got to take a point right away. I know you didn't mean to poke him in the eye. You didn't mean to. I get it. I get it. Here's the thing, though. You did poke him in the eye. I know you didn't mean to. I didn't mean to knee him in the face while he was grounded. Meant to knee him in the body. But it went to his face. I get it. It's unintentional. But it happened. So you lose a point. Well, then guys will maybe not be doing this as much. Leading with the fingers. The groin thing, it's different. It's sometimes hard to target. But if we're standing in front of each other and I kick you straight to the groin, yeah, well, maybe you only get one. Second one, automatic point deduction. If they're both kicking at the same time, if you go to kick a guy and he moves into it, that really is an accident. If the guy's just standing in front of you and you boot him one, then it's like, yeah, listen, you're in control of your weapons. You kicked low. You could have kicked him in the leg. You could have kicked him in the body. You chose to try to dig it right by the belt line, or you Again, man, it's a subjective sport. The judging is highly subjective. The reffing is highly subjective. The rules are apparently highly subjective. It's just you're seeing a ton of fouls, and they're ruining the outcomes, or they're altering the outcomes to these fights. So you don't want to see that. Like, leave it out of the ref's hands and just let them fight. But constantly, you're even the Chris Barnett fight, right? That could have been a disqualification due to this shots to the back of the head. But was Hamdy trying to punch him in the back of the head? Or is it Chris Barnett's laying flat on his back, holding his head like this? He's moving every time you try to hit him. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? So, reffing would be a good job, but people are just going to hate your guts either way. Either you called the fight too long and the guy got hurt, or you called it too short. It was a early stoppage. Like, thankless, thankless, I'm sure. Anyways, that's that. Yeah, that's the wrap up. Overall, like I said, 9 wins, 3 losses, and the one no contest in the main event. Props were like way better this week, which I can appreciate. So for all the guys over in the Discord that are supporting the Patreon, much appreciated, and hopefully we can just do the damn thing again next week. For everybody else, I appreciate you guys taking the time on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or whenever it is that you're catching these episodes to drop by. If you got any thoughts, concerns, comments, feel free to hit me up. And yeah, good luck to everybody. Thanks for dropping by. Catch you guys later.